We all know the official story of Mars exploration, right? It starts with grainy black and white photos from a distant flyby, moves on to the triumphant landings of rovers, and the slow, methodical search for water. It's an amazing story of human ingenuity. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, hiding behind the press conferences and carefully selected pictures, there's a secret history of Mars? A history filled with baffling anomalies, unsolved puzzles, and missions the world was never supposed to know about. Tonight we're piecing together the evidence, from declassified files to the downright controversial, that suggests our understanding of the Red Planet is far from complete. Our official journey to Mars kicked off in 1965. NASA's Mariner 4 spacecraft zipped past the planet and sent back 21 images. And what it sent back was kind of a letdown for anyone hoping for canals and alien cities. Instead, we saw a cratered, seemingly dead world. The Soviet Union was also in the race, and in 1971 their Mars 3 probe actually achieved the first soft landing. A huge accomplishment. But the victory lap was short. Just 20 seconds after touching down, the lander went completely silent. Mystery number 1. The real revolution came in 1976 with NASA's twin Viking landers. They gave us our first stunning color panoramas from the surface. More importantly, they were built to answer the biggest question of all: is there life on Mars? One of its tests, the labeled release experiment, gave a result that scientists still argue about. It mixed Martian soil with a nutrient broth and detected a burst of gas. Here on Earth, that's a textbook sign of microbes doing their thing. The catch? Other Viking instruments found no organic molecules, the building blocks of life, so NASA concluded it was probably just weird soil chemistry, not biology. Still, some of the original scientists on the project went to their graves convinced they had found life. This opened the floodgates. The 21st century brought us the rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, our twin geologists who roamed for years and proved Mars once had liquid water. Then came Curiosity in 2012 and Perseverance in 2021, rolling laboratories searching for signs of ancient habitable environments. They've painted a picture of an early Mars that was warm, wet, and maybe alive. Curiosity has even drilled into rocks and found complex organic molecules, hinting at a carbon cycle, a key ingredient for life as we know it. But the more we learn, the more questions pop up. And some of these puzzles are so strange, even NASA is scratching its head. First up, the methane enigma. On Earth, most methane comes from living things. So when we spot it on Mars, you can't help but get excited. NASA's Curiosity rover has repeatedly detected strange spikes of methane gas inside its crater home, with levels that seem to rise and fall with the seasons. But here's the twist. The ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, a satellite specifically designed to map methane from orbit, sees pretty much nothing. How can a gas be at the surface but invisible from above? Is it being made by microbes deep underground, or is some bizarre geological process at play? It's one of the biggest question marks in planetary science. Then we have the famous face on Mars. In 1976, the Viking 1 orbiter snapped a picture of a region called Cydonia. And there it was, a landform that looked shockingly like a human face staring into space. The image became an instant icon for believers in ancient Martian civilizations. For decades, it fueled endless speculation. NASA insisted it was just a trick of light and shadow on a hill. And in this case, they were right. Years later, the Mars Global Surveyor took another look with a much better camera, and the face melted away into a perfectly normal-looking mesa. Still, the story of the face on Mars is a classic lesson in how our brains are wired to see patterns, a little trick called pareidolia. It set the stage for scrutinizing every weird-looking rock we've seen since. And finally, there are the recurring slope lineae, or RSLs. These are dark streaks that appear on steep Martian slopes in the warmer months and then fade away in the cold. For years, scientists thought this was the smoking gun for liquid water flowing on Mars today. But recent studies using AI to analyze thousands of images have a less exciting idea. They're probably just dry flows of sand and dust. While the debate isn't totally over, the leading theory has shifted from flowing water to cascading dust. But what if these official mysteries are just the appetizer? What if the real secrets are buried much deeper, not in the Martian sand, but in classified government files? This is where our story gets really interesting. We're now entering the world of alleged secret missions to Mars. The most famous of these is called Project Red Sun. The legend says that in the early 1970s, at the peak of the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union secretly teamed up. While the public was watching the last Apollo moon missions, this top-secret project supposedly launched a ship called the ISV Columbus from a hidden base in the Amazon. And the crew? None other than American hero Neil Armstrong and a Soviet cosmonaut. According to whistleblowers and so-called leaked documents, they landed on Mars in 1973. Grainy footage even exists, stamped with internal use only, that supposedly shows the astronauts on their way. But when you look closer, the story starts to fall apart. Investigators have shown pretty convincingly that the footage is just a clever mashup of other NASA missions, stock video, and even movie clips. On top of that, there's zero credible evidence, no official records, no verifiable testimony to back any of it up. A crewed mission to Mars in the 70s would have been a monumental task, far beyond the technology of the time. Yet the story of Project Red Sun lives on, fueled by that fascinating idea that we haven't been told the full story of our adventures in space. These are the kinds of stories that make you question everything. If you find these hidden histories as fascinating as we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next because we're about to look at what these secret missions might have found. So, if there was a cover-up, what exactly is being hidden? Believers point to the thousands of photos sent back by NASA's rovers as their evidence. All over the internet, citizen scientists and anomaly hunters have flagged countless objects they swear are not natural rocks. They point to pyramid-like shapes in the Cydonia region, arranged in what looks like a deliberate pattern. They show us rocks that look eerily like broken statues, animal skulls, or even fossilized creatures. There are images of what some are convinced is metallic wreckage or even doorways leading underground. The scientific explanation for almost all of these is that old friend of ours, pareidolia. It's the same reason we see the man in the moon or faces in the clouds. Our brains are hardwired to find familiar shapes in random patterns. A jumble of rocks under just the right light can easily look like a skull. A weathered cliff can look like the ruins of a building. NASA's official stance is that these are all natural geological formations, and so far not a single one of these anomalies has held up under scientific review. No credible evidence for alien pyramids or statues has ever been published, and yet the images are compelling and they feed into a powerful story that Mars once hosted a great civilization, a cataclysm wiped it out, and our rovers are now stumbling through the ruins. At the heart of this belief is the idea that our governments are hiding the single greatest discovery in human history, either to prevent global panic or to keep alien technology for themselves. So, where does that leave us? We have two very different tales of Mars. One is a story of science. It's a story of robotic explorers pushing the limits of what we know, revealing a world that was once wet and maybe habitable, and that still holds deep mysteries like its disappearing methane. It's a slow, careful process where every claim is questioned and tested. The other is a story of conspiracy. It's a tale of secret missions, ancient aliens, and a massive cover-up, built from grainy photos and a powerful distrust of the official story. Is Mars a planet of fascinating chemistry and geology, whose secrets are slowly being unlocked by our robots? Or is it a world haunted by the ghosts of a lost civilization and a secret chapter of human history? The truth is still out there. What do you believe? Let us know in the comments below.